That covers everything. I tried to get through that as quickly as I could. Welcome. Well, did I just freeze? Am I good? Am I back?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back.
Okay. Um, Sabina, where are you? You want to
Hey, I'm right
unmute?
here.
There
Yeah,
you
I'm right
go.
here.
Okay, we got the spotlights going. I'm gonna stop the scroll. I'm actually gonna just quickly just talk a little bit about how I got to know you a little bit and then kind of introduce what we're seeing here on the slide. But Sabina, everybody is, if for all intents and purposes, a newer person to the symmetry world and to life insurance world, correct, Sabina?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty new.
Yeah.
Barely been a year.
So Sabina, married to her wonderful husband. They have their fur baby. They live out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And when Sabina, I feel like the first time I saw Sabina, I think number one, if you haven't seen her on TikTok, her content is amazing, and she, I think, was inundating my algorithm before I even knew that she was part of the Symmetry family. And then I started seeing her in the Mac room. So I was like, oh, Sabina, the person that I see on TikTok, she's part of our thing. And I was like, I don't know if any of you guys watched House of Cards, but there's, gosh, what's her name? I think it's Kate. She just looked like this character from House of Cards. And I was like, hi, Sabina, like you look like this person. And she was like, I have no idea what that is, but cool. And that was her and I's first interaction together. There you go. See, Ariana says, "Oh my God, she does." So I'm not the only person who thinks it. So that was our first interaction, but I had no idea who Sabina was at that point. I was just like, she's just the person who is being very courageous in her getting up and dialing and being new and just doing this thing the right way. And from there, it was just like I feel like I just saw Sabina more and more. Um, really loved her approach with everything. The people that she worked with got to meet her at a conference, at Ignite, and she's obviously getting a lot of love right now. If you haven't heard her name before, from just across Symmetry, because I mean, shout outs on the national call as well last week for just all of the good things that she is doing right now. And people should be modeling themselves after what Sabina is doing if you want to be having success here. And so I could think of no better person, honestly, that I wanted to talk to and get to know more and have them share their goodness with this team than you, Sabina. So welcome to the call.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Well, my name's Sabina Hoag. I'm direct to Annie Morrell, to Scott Schnitzer, and then Danny Young. So we're kind of all like cousins. So this is more like a family reunion. Just the cousin y'all haven't gotten a chance to meet yet. So I'm really excited to be on here. I don't really know what we're going to exactly talk about. We kind of talked through a few options. So I'm excited. I like kind of on the fly. So
Yes,
interactions. So this is
I love it.
exciting.
So a couple of things too for y'all to know about Sabina. So Sabina, you started here in October of 2025, right? So you're like 6, 7-ish months into the business.
Yeah, month eight.
Okay.
So we just
Yeah.
got started, and I had got my license at State Farm before. So I came in licensed, but at State Farm, you don't really do life insurance. So I didn't really know anything about it, but got
Yep.
here October 1st, full time, started.
Love it. So started in October. You kind of just started kind of producing, pretty quickly right away, and you started building a team relatively quickly as well. So you had your first writer, that you and at least one other person in January. So it took you a few months to get that going. Together, you did $24,000 of submit. Then so right, so that was it just one writer, you plus one other person in January that year, that month?
Yeah, just me and
Okay.
one other person.
Perfect. So you had the two writers total, 24,000 in submit. February, three writers total, $23,000 of submit. March, six writers, $35,000 of submit. And then in April, eight writers and $46,000 of submit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and then those early months, October, November, December, you were producing kind of what when you first started?
My first month when I got here, I submitted probably like $2,000. Probably only 200, but it got approved, which was me and my husband's policy.
Mm-hmm.
Then that next month, I submitted about 12,000 and I issued about 9K. And then, December, you start thinking you know what you're doing. So then you start moving things around. So I started messing with everything and Then I had a lower month, so I did about 9K, issued about four or five. Kind of got back on track in January, and that's kind of where production started picking up. My own personal production really started kind of picking up. So it's
Yeah,
been up from there.
that's amazing. And so your best submit month so far is 24,000, correct?
Yes.
And you've issued 15,000, or did that number get broken in April for you personally?
It's still 15,000. I had the biggest submit month was not my biggest issue month. I had
Hmm.
a $14,000 policy that we're still finishing up. So when that goes through, we should have it. But last month I had my biggest month of, I guess, issue paid, and that was all a lot of just smaller policies that stacked up. So I think that means more to me because that means I actually sat with more families and
Yes.
sold more instead of just selling one big whale. I sold a
Yes.
lot of little baby fish, so I got
Yeah.
better at it.
It adds up, doesn't it?
hmm
Yeah. So, I mean, I think one of the most inspiring things that I take away from someone like you, Sabina, is just number one, like seeing still how new you are into the business, right? 7, 8 months into the business, but also seeing that it's like I saw a comment where Kristen was talking about like almost AO numbers, and like you're thinking that you just hit key leader month two. This month will be the first month of, hopefully that AO run, whatever word we want to use for it. But you came in and in your first full month, you wrote 2,000 and issued 200. What made you so like there are people here who are doing the same thing, maybe even maybe better, maybe worse, and the idea that like 6 months from now that they could be doing what's required to officially hit agency ownership, I think is just like outside of their sort of imagination that they can think about. What brought you into this business? Like tell us a little bit about your story, and then just what drove you through those first couple of months.
Yeah, so what brought me into this business was I had been working at State Farm. I come from working at a church for about 5 years, got into sales because I didn't have a degree in anything besides like ministry and leadership. So I was like, I cannot work probably a different job. Sales is personality driven. Started working at State Farm, got really bored, but I was planning a wedding after I basically DIY'd my whole wedding in my office because no one ever came in. After I got married, I came back to work and I was just really, really, really bored to the point where I'd want to call in sick. And my husband was like, "Hey, I think you need to start looking at other jobs. I've never met you in the world, like ever in your lifetime. Have you ever wanted to not go to work or not want to do anything?" So I started looking into different kind of versions of sales. I looked into high ticket sales, looked a little bit into life insurance. Wasn't quite sure if that was my flow. And then I had a friend that was doing it. Her name's Annie, the one who brought me in. Saw her on LinkedIn, and we knew each other from our past jobs. And I saw her crushing it. And I think in my head, sales to me is more of like like I guess it's a specific personality type. You come here and you see everyone can win here. But in my head, it was like, no, it's a specific personality. And she's not that personality. She's very like nice and sweet and great. And I'm kind of the opposite. So I was like, if she's crushing it, how good could I do? Because I'm like a shark. She's like a dolphin. Like, what? This is awesome. So I asked her about it and I saw the kind of structure and I saw kind of how it looked. And my biggest concern was like, am I going to have another boss? I don't want another boss. I've had a boss my whole life and I don't like having them. So I was just really done with that. I didn't want a boss anymore. So I talked to her about it and I was like, hey, I think this is the decision we need to do. So kind of a month in to our marriage, I quit my job and went completely commission based with the support of our husband. And he's a full-time master's student. So I'm kind of our household winner right now. So I kind of took a leap and jumped in full time to go for it. And I saw the vision of what it could be. I don't, my long-term vision is I want to be able to be a present mom when I have kids eventually, but we want to move to Florida. We want to do more. So that was kind of what kept me going my first 3 months was my vision behind past what this was. I could
Yeah.
see the future beyond the suck of the moment because your first 3 months are kind of sucky.
Yeah, it can be tough for sure. I mean, and I resonate a lot with what you're saying because I came into this business a month before our first baby boy was going to be born, and my wife is a wedding planner and owns her own business, so it's not like she was getting maternity leave, so I very much resonate with what you're talking about, just kind of having to jump in during a crazy time like that. You just got married, kind of being the breadwinner in a full commission role. I'm curious, like when you mentioned you were looking into like high ticket sales and other things, when you talk about that vision, did you know from day one that you wanted to build an agency, or did you just want to be a really successful salesperson?
Well, I think at first I definitely wanted to master sales, and then eventually look into the business side. I think when I got here, I ended up kind of getting thrusted upon building because I started posting my journey on TikTok. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just thought maybe people would like to see it. Maybe I'll gain some traction. Ended up getting recruits from TikTok and then kind of just ended up naturally building a team and then started gearing more toward, hey, I do want to build, like I do want to have an agency. Um, but I saw long term, I did want a team eventually. At first, I thought, hey, I just need to make money.
Hmm.
I don't want to come here and pull a bunch of people into something I don't even know how it's going to work. I don't even know if I'm good at this yet. So then I started probably in month two, really started to build and get people on my team and start getting them in pre-licensing. Month two and three was when it
Yeah.
started
Oh,
clicking
so
for
did
me.
you become an expert at selling life insurance in your second and third month? Is that why you were able to start building?
No, I just honestly, it wasn't that I became an expert. I think people just saw that they liked the journey I was on. And when I showed them the system,
Oh,
that's what they bought into. And
got
so I
it.
think that's,
So people wanted to be led by you because of other things instead of just your production. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Because my production was not that great. So,
Got it. What do you think? What do you think those things were? Why do you think people want to are attracted to you and want to be led by you?
I mean, I think we just have a really good culture. I think people align with who they feel like they connect with, but I think that, the culture of symmetry, I think is way different than any other sales culture or any other environment. So once I told people a little bit about symmetry and just honestly, I think your own excitement is contagious. People saw, hey, I was excited to go to work. I was excited about this opportunity we have. And once I just plugged them into the system, it was kind of like they just wanted it for themselves. So I don't think it was necessarily all me. I think we're just in a really good environment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's you hit the nail on the head, and I feel like obviously it's a leading question for a reason, but there's obviously so much of this fallacy around like, I'm not going, I want to build an agency, but I'm not going to start trying to build my agency until I become an expert. And it's like the point that you just made. It's like, well, you could be producing 50K a month, but if you're completely uninspiring and not excited and look like you hate your life versus someone who maybe is relatively new, get just starting to just froze again, didn't I? I froze again. Now I'm back. Yep. Um, that has the confidence, maybe is newer. Uh, People are going to be a lot more attracted to the latter, right? People are going to be a lot more attracted to that other person. Doesn't matter how much money you are making. And I also think it's funny too, because like, I actually, I don't know, you looked into other lines of business like I did as well. And I was like, oh, if I go start like an AC business, am I gonna like have to become like was I thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna go be an expert AC technician myself before I will start hiring other contractors. And I think it's like, I don't know why people have that line of thinking, but you sort of just got your like you found your way into that after a couple of months and you started to see that override. Like what did that feel like when you kind of got that first override?
Well, my first override was probably like $20, so it felt really good. I just thought, oh, this is like Chick-fil-A for me and my husband, like half of it. And then it slowly kind of became like, oh wow, this is like $300 coming in. It's like $500. My team's still really new, so I feel like I haven't truly felt like hardcore the overrides just yet. All their accidentals that first month felt really good. It was
Yeah.
like $400 of accidental commission. But I mean, I think it's more the excitement of having a team. I think they push me to be a better producer and a better leader. I kind of feel like it's kind of like, when you're a little kid and you're like, my dad could beat up your dad. I like feel that way. Like I want them to feel like my upline could like smokes your upline. Like, so I feel that urge of just like showing them, hey, what's possible. And when I was new, I felt that the urge of like, hey, I may not have like the story yet, but Scott does. So I kind of felt like I was the extension cord. Like I
Hmm.
would plug into Scott's outlet and I would plug them into mine and be like, well, let me tell you about Scott. Let me tell you about his belief. And I think that's when you're new, when you don't have your own belief yet in your journey. It's who can you plug into that you can borrow that belief from and pass it on to your team. Hey, like I'm not there yet, but let me tell you about Scott's journey. I have probably told Scott's story gets better and better the more I tell people. I'm like, in 1 year, he's making, and he's like, that's not true. Don't say that. But like, that's how I feel like I'm like, hey, that's the belief. And now I can start bringing my own belief because I have seen in my own life, hey, I just made this much in my own pen. And people are like, wow, you made that much in a day? Yeah, I did. I can tell, I can teach you how to do that because we have a system that works. So I think
Yeah.
it's borrowing belief until you have your own.
Mm. Really, really good. And yeah, I mean, I think what you said too is so accurate about, you know, when you grow the team, it makes you better. It's like I think there's this concept of like it's it's easy to quit on yourself, but it's harder to quit on others. And it's hard to explain what that feels like. Was there a moment for you where that kind of clicked in those earlier months where you know, those first 3 months you were writing by yourself? Was there a moment in January, February where it just like felt different for you waking up and getting to work every day?
I think it definitely started to feel different once we hit like three writers when I knew we hit team like we were on our way to starting team leader. But I think it just started clicking once I had like 4 or 5 people in pre-licensing, and then I started just getting a bunch of people that were already licensed wanting to come on board. And so it started just clicking where I was like, wow, we're like we're building something. It's not just me plus like 4 people, it's me plus like 14 people. And it just kind of has kept going to the point where like I'm begging Scott for a Slack channel because like we have people with Androids and they break our chats. So I'm like, we're getting to the point where the Androids are coming in. So I feel like it was probably that really started changing. But honestly, I think what kept me here during the suckiest months was I bought my conference ticket the first month day I got here. My first week sucked, obviously, because I was new, but I thought, okay, well, I could either try to find a new agency or and be out like $300 because I bought me and my husband a ticket, or I'm just gonna have to stick it out to this next conference. And I'm so glad I did because I think that is like buy into it. Like if you can't build a team yet or you haven't yet, go buy your ticket for the next event because that's going to keep you here till that next event.
Mm,
Because you're either going to have to know you wasted whatever your conference ticket is, or you're going to end up going to that conference and it's going to change your business. So I think that
yeah.
is honestly what made me stick here was I got here and bought my ticket my first day.
And so to clarify, you started here after Engage conference in Denver. So you're talking about Ignite that was in March. You bought your ticket in October and you were just like, I gotta at least stick it out till then.
Yep, exactly. And then it got good, obviously. So then I was like, for sure I'll be here. But like my first month, I was like, I guess I'm out $300 if I leave. Because like your
Yeah,
first week, I mean, I think we can all agree your first little bit, you kind of think you're going to come in here and be the exception and write like 20K your first week. You're like, I'm better, I'll figure it out. But it is a learned skill. And I think having something that pushes you and gets you more committed. And I do believe in-person events are what changes your life. I think one, having someone on your team transforms your business for yourself, but making that financial commitment yourself to go somewhere does put you're putting skin in the game. It's not just your own leads. You're putting money into something to that you believe is going to transform your business. So I would recommend everyone to go get their ticket now if you haven't.
100%. How did you feel like, and that is, we're going to be pushing on that super hard, probably starting this week, but like how do you, what was the impact that Ignite had on you? Because to recap, you had your first 3 suckier months. It was a little hard. You were grinding through it, but you were sticking it out. Then January came along, February came along, and things are getting a little bit better, but you're committed. You show up to Ignite. What did you go in being like, I need, and what did you come out with that has made a difference for you?
I mean, I honestly really came in wanting to grow closer to my team and people around me. I think the association is what I really wanted. Um, I think the rah-rah is really awesome. I love getting hyped up and excited, but I feel just so excited in general that like I kind of already felt like I was at 100 on excitement. So I was like, okay, I'm already there. Like I know what this can do. But I honestly enjoyed getting to meet people that maybe I never got to, maybe I saw online and I got to see them in person. And I think it just is kind of like it just plants your roots deeper. You see
Mm,
people and you're just like, oh, this is so cool to get to meet you in person and then to hear people's journey and just to see them and say, like, hey, they're a real person. They're not just like a story. Like they're a real person that you can meet and you can talk to and you can ask questions. And I think that's what I got more out of it is that Like I just got that association piece. Like I love the people we do this with, and I think that's so big is that you can be a part of a great business and not like those people. And I don't think like I think that sounds terrible, but like when you come to these events, it's just so fun. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed it so much. Like I got to see all my friends. I felt like it was like a reunion. I was like sad I left.
Yeah. I know, right? It's like as soon as I'm on the plane back, I'm looking forward to being in Denver with everybody. Um, we say that big decisions happen in big like big rooms, big events. Do you feel like you had kind of that moment for yourself over the course of 3 days at conference where you were like, this is what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely decided that by the next conference, I was going to be an agency owner. I didn't want to come to the next conference without that title. And so that's why we've been pushing really hard and gaining momentum. And I mean, March, we had a good number of writers, but we're getting better as I'm getting better as a producer. Like I can't just be a good recruiter. Like I need to get better overall. So I just felt the challenge to step up my game and say, hey, this is a goal I want to hit, and I'm gonna tell people about it. Even so to the point where Amber Pearson walked me up to a bunch of people and said, she's going to be an agency owner. Get ready. And I was like, stop talking to people. What if I don't hit it? She goes, well, you better hit it now. Everyone met you. So it kind of made me a little nervous, but things like that, I felt that challenge. I'm going to be an agency owner by next conference.
That's awesome. I love that. So I want to go back to when you and I were kind of just like texting a little bit and just like things that you talked about, just being passionate about. Um, like agent activation, sticking it out until you figure it out, right? That kind of stuff. And now just also hearing your story in more detail. I mean, you really did need to go through that. I think a lot of people can resonate where it's like, yeah, not everyone is going to be a rock star producer that's, putting up 15, 20K in placed business, in their first 30 days. Doesn't mean you can't be profitable, doesn't mean you can't make money, but it doesn't happen for everybody. Yet at the same time, there's so many people that were just like you for their first 3 months that after 3 months they quit. They never got to see or become the Sabina that you have now become just in the last 4 to 5 months since the calendar year turned. Can you talk a little bit about just what you believe are the foundational things that new agents need to do to be able to find success here?
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously we need to talk about work, but I think the first thing you need to do is you need to make a commitment to yourself. You need to say, like, I made a commitment after that first week because the first week, obviously, I had my expectations set very wildly. And then I, got realigned, but I made a commitment. Hey, I'm going to give this a full 3 months. If after 3 months I really don't know what I'm doing, I really don't feel like I'm even getting trained, then I can start kind of saying maybe, hey, this isn't for me. But you can't decide that too quickly. You got to give it time to, like, you got to give time for the work to work. So the first thing was I decided, hey, I'm not going to entertain the thought of quitting or leaving and going somewhere else. Because once you go and make a commitment somewhere, there's always going to be that other voice of like, what if that IMO's better? What if this works better? What if that team's better? What if I should have done this? And you're going to start entertaining, you could entertain those thoughts. And I made a commitment, hey, I'm not going to entertain it. I'm going to stay locked into the belief that this is where I'm supposed to be. I chose where I'm supposed to be, and I'm going to stay here and figure that out. And at least for 3 months. So I didn't let that lie sink in. So then I just, started working. I did $4,000 my first month here, um, set probably like 80 something appointments. I think maybe had 12 show, and I maybe wrote on like four of them. And that's terrible. Like those aren't good statistics. But then I did so much work that people started saying like, hey, like let's see if we can figure this out for you. And I started realizing we had scripts and things like that that I didn't even know. So I did so much work that I ended up putting myself into rooms I don't think I just kind of shoved myself into rooms because people saw the level of commitment I was in. So I started getting more coaching and more kind of help to then have that big 12K month. I think it was doing all the same work, but then it was just those constant correction. But the first thing I did was the massive action.
So
I said,
before you get
hey,
into,
I'm going to do that.
sorry, really quick
Go ahead.
question, because I want to understand this. So like one, the commitment to yourself, two, the massive action, and I want to hear more. But I have a question on that. Um, like a follow up. Did you said 4,000 dials in your first month, 80 appointments set. did someone like tell you that you needed to do that? Or like, was someone like holding your hand through every dial session? Like what did that look like? How did you do that?
No, no one like I guess sat down, but I remember going to Jim Larson's agent activation and he said, "Hey, you need to be doing this many dials." And honestly, I did a lot of cold calling at my last job, so I was like, "This isn't that hard. Let me sit down and just knock it out." Um, but no, I just knew I was like, I need to make money. Like I'm the sole breadwinner. Like I don't want to end up homeless. Like we saved up like a month and a half worth of expenses. So aside from that, like I gotta get moving because where is this money gonna come in from? And I just knew if I did enough work, it would eventually come out and I would see it and I would learn. But I just truly believe it's kind of like you're starting a new base. Like you got to go through the suck. Like when you first start working out, you're going to be really sore and it's going to be really uncomfortable and it's going to be really painful. And that's just part of the journey. If you want to get somewhere faster, just go really, really hard. And then you're going to level up your skill and then you can slowly go less and less.
So
But
you weren't sitting at the starting line waiting for someone to come push you along and come walk with you and all of that. Sounds like you were just like, I don't even know what's really going on around me right now, but I know that the basic thing I know is that I'm supposed to dial leads and book appointments on those. So I'm just going to do that. You were very self-motivated.
yeah, definitely very self-motivated, just ready to go. My upline is very part-time mom. So I kind of just was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna dial. Exact kind of probably why I didn't know there was scripts, which is my fault. I'm a little ADHD, so I probably pushed through some and skipped that whole section. I mean, I got to the point, but I don't know what I was doing. I didn't even know people were just giving out a price and walking away.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted this so badly, and I think that's the biggest thing is that I wanted this to work, and I made a commitment that hey, I'm gonna do all that work I can to see it, and it has to work. I'm not the exception in the special way. I'm like, if it doesn't work, it's not because the system's broken. I'm not that special that I could break
Can
the system.
can I want to not gloss over that like what you just said about you wanting it to work so bad. Like can you share more about that because I think a lot of people need to internalize that for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I quit my job to come here. I posted about it on social media, which I think was really more hard because I was like, okay, I'm posting this. I'm telling everyone, hey, this is what I'm doing, not being a secret agent. And like, if this fails, everyone's going to publicly see it. But I was like, I want this to work. Like, I could see what this has. I see the money that can be made here, and I see the freedom that can be here. But like I want this to work because I need something that like I can sink my teeth into.
Mm.
And I just needed like not even in a weird way, just I was like, this has to work for me, or like I have to know for a fact it doesn't. So I gotta like give it my all. And when I'm on 100%, like my 100% is crazy. So I know like I knew, hey, my 100% was $4,000. Like that, I was like, I can easily do that. I can set 80 appointments. Like I know my standard of excellence, and I know what I can bring it to. And
Yeah.
that's what I said I had to do. So then I just started working all, the whole time.
Yeah. That's so good. I mean, yeah, just the why. Like when you really believe the why behind all of it, it can fuel you. You're not going to wait for anyone to help you along. You're just going to go do. You're just going to go run as fast as you can, do as much as you can. And for everyone's why is different. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, well, if I don't do this, I'm financially ruined. Like everyone's why can be different. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's relate like it could be whatever. But it sounds to me like how much you wanted this to work, how much you believed in your why was just like that was enough fuel for you to run off of and go full steam ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I think that's like where your why even reshapes the more you get going. At first, it was probably like, let's not end up homeless or back with my parents somehow. That would be the worst. But it shifted to then like, hey, what's the why? Like, what do I see beyond this? Like, I see the vision of me and him doing this, me and my husband doing this business together. I see the vision of my mom was a stay-at-home mom and she homeschooled us, but she sacrificed her dream to do that. And
Hmm.
I don't ever want to do that because I do love to work and I love so many aspects of this business. So I think it was just honing in even more on my why. But at the beginning, it was just, I know what I want long term. I'm going to suck it up and get there. And I think sometimes, if I can be honest, I think a lot of us are too afraid of like, this is a job. Okay, well, this is also a business. Like, you've ever met somebody who starts a business, it's pretty hard their first year. And I think sometimes we become such a slave to like this whole work-life balance. It's like, hey, this is the time that the work-life balance doesn't exist. It's just the work because you're trying to stay alive, like in this business.
Yep.
And sometimes we forget that this is a business that you chose to start, even if
Yeah.
you're just doing sales.
If you literally ask a friend or a family member who like owns their own business for a long time and go ask them, "Hey, what is it? What was it like your first 12 months?" They're probably going to like laugh uncomfortably because it was probably a grind. It was probably pretty hard. And it's like, why would it be any different for us here?
Exactly. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I completely agree. So a couple of other things with you, and then I'll get into a couple like production focused questions. So you came in, you started, were you attending team meetings?
Yeah, I was on like everything because I quit my job. So I was like, if they say to be here, we're going to
Yep.
be on everything. I'm kind of an all in or all out person. And if they said, hey, this is what it takes to win, this is what I'm going to do.
Cool.
You
So
know, I
team
don't want to,
meetings, camera on.
yeah,
Yep.
camera, accountability call every day.
Yep.
Um, yeah, any call there was on, I was there.
Got your conference ticket, committed a period of time to yourself. Um, Virtual office, Mac room, you were in there a lot.
Yeah, started live dialing my first week here. That's what everyone said to ever. Honestly, I was probably like, very sheet method. I was like, if they said, hey, do this, I'm just going to do it. Like, I don't need to ask too many questions. Let's just do it. Like, I don't love live dialing. Now I've like, learned to like it, but like at the beginning, I didn't love it. It's kind of uncomfortable. You don't
But
know
you did
what's
it
going to
anyways?
happen. Yeah, you do it anyway.
Why? Why'd you do it anyways?
Because you get a lot of coaching. And I think that's the biggest thing is the amount of coaching you get on live dialing. People would tell me things and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that I was totally butchering this. Or I'd ask questions that why was I asking them? And then I realized the importance of a good script and of using the symmetry system. When I came here, I saw one guy live dial and I saw him set appointments. I was like, let me take his script. And it was a terrible script. That's why no one was showing up. And then he got out of the business. So I should have just stuck to the best script. And then I got back to the best script 2 weeks in and I stayed there, just live dialing, getting chewed out. But you also get encouragement. And I had people say, hey, you know, you're saying kind of some wacky stuff, but you're not bad on the phone. Like start reading a little more. Or hey, calm down a little bit, breathe.
Hmm.
But and you start picking up on things when you're hearing other people talk. And I still sometimes do this. I heard someone say, like, when you're feeling nervous, put your hand on your chest and like breathe and talk through while listening. It's going to naturally bring your cadence down so that you're more tonalities even and things like that. So you pick up on these nuggets and you start like applying them and you start seeing the results. But it's just those little tips that can change the game for you to where your show rate goes up or where you actually realize what your issues are because people can see them.
Wow. So you said you were live dialing a week into the business. You got up on video and live dialed. Just
Yeah.
out of curiosity, I mean, if anyone wants to just be like fully honest in here, can you put a one in the chat if you've never live dialed before? It's okay if you haven't, but I would love to see it. There's got to be more. So as people are throwing this in, Sabina, what would you say to all of these people, many of which who are in, let's say, their first 2 to 6 months in the business? What would you say to a lot of those folks?
I would say that it's going to be scary and embrace that. Just because it's scary doesn't mean you shouldn't do something and then do it together. If y'all all know that y'all are all one, why don't you pick an hour and it can be the Gaines Master Agency hour and y'all all dial together. It's way more fun to do it with other people. And you know what? If y'all are all scared alone doing it together, at least it's going to be better than just you scared by yourself if you're doing it
Mm,
all together. So that's what I would encourage you. And
I love it.
it's okay if you're afraid. Think everyone who live dials is not like I don't think people who do it find it the most comfortable, even if you've been doing it a while. I still at times I'm like, okay, we're live dialing, breathe.
Yeah. I mean, dialing itself, in my opinion, never gets easier. Like, forget even live dialing. It's like it's always hard, you know? It's like it doesn't just get easier because you've done it a bunch of times with certain things. It's like getting that first dial of your dial session going always feels like the hardest one to start. Okay. Pivoting into kind of last topic here, Sabina, I want to talk a little bit about just like personal production for you. Um, can you talk to us a little bit about like what's your lead order currently? What's that look like for you? And then also maybe a little bit about how that's changed over time.
Yeah, so I just started 15 CIAs and 15 digital lighthouse leads. And then every 2 weeks or so, I'll get about like 20 Razor Ridge, just kind of have them randomly drop. So I'll get that maybe twice a month, just get some general life leads from them, like their $40 ones. I just started getting back into my CIAs. I used to do a lot of CIBs. Probably in March I stopped. In April I stuck more digital and did some Razor Ridge. But I realized I really like the analog flow of it and I can get through a lot of the objections with CIAs and CIBs. So I just wanted to add them in because they're a quicker turnaround. But
Gotcha.
that's kind of my lead flow.
Got it. And what were you working in your first like 2, 3 months when you first started?
I worked a lot of CIGs and MIGs. For my first month, I probably stuck mainly onto like the under $1 leads. And then in month two, I kind of upped it a little bit and I added some CIBs. And then month three, I did MIBs and then CIBs. And then for the end of it, I added in like 5 digital lighthouse leads because I slowly wanted to kind of transition into the digital, adding those into kind of my arsenal.
Gotcha. And how intentional was that scaling up for you during those first 3, 4 months? Like, how did you think about how you were going to continue to scale that lead order up? Were you doing it on your own? Were you leaning on any coaches or mentors? Like, what did that process look like?
I think I slowly started leaning into Scott more. I didn't really understand kind of the whole hierarchy and who hired you thing for a little bit because I was like, so if am I just supposed to talk to this one person about all my questions? And then I realized I could talk to a lot of people. So that kind of helped. I got a lot more coaching that way. But, I honestly just asked, hey, so this is what I've been doing. This is what my stats look like. What do you think? And it'd be, hey, I think you need to move up. But there was even parts that Scott said, hey, I think you should go to CIAs. I tried them for a little bit and at the beginning, and I was like, I don't really like them. Like I flip more CIBs than CIAs. And so I just made the decision to do that. But it was all about what felt most comfortable to me. I cut out MIBs in January because I looked at my profitability and I was like, I don't close as many of them.
Mhm.
And a lot of people do, but they must not be my cup of tea because I'm closing the CIBs and most people are closing the MIBs. So I guess I need to like I'm trying to find what is my strength and
Right.
what I can sell and who I connect with more over the phone.
I think that's such a great takeaway about leads. Like, it's about like the word you use, like confidence and belief. It's not about like what lead type is a better lead type or a worse lead type. It's about what you believe you're going to have the most success with and what you believe works for you the best. Because when you get on the phone with a CIB, you're like, got this, and when you go in with that kind of attitude, it comes through with how naturally you handle the objections and how you do all that. Whereas if you're going in being like, here's another MIB, yeah, so these are tough. Naturally, you're going to have a harder time closing them.
Exactly. And I think it just is also everyone's personality is different. Who you connect with is going to be different than who I connect with. And that's, I think, the beautiful thing why even age leads work is that it may have been the wrong time, wrong person, wrong moment that someone talked to them, and now you're the right person for them. I had I think CIA lead that he had been shopping around. No, it was a digital lighthouse lead. He put in multiple forums with different companies, and we got on and we wrote his wife a policy, and he said, "I've never given my info out to any person on the phone, and I've had people come into my house and try to write us a business because I wouldn't do business over the phone." He was like, "But for some reason, I felt safe with you, so I'm happy that we got to connect." I don't think I'm better necessarily than any of those people. I don't know what they showed them, but everybody connects with a different person. I think that's the beautiful thing is if you hone in on your presentation, you're going to find your people that they love you. They want to
Mhm.
work with you. And you just serve it up to them on a platter because you're getting good at, hey, I know how to deliver. I know how to show options. I know how to present it. I know how to dig. And then you can just find the people that, hey, they like you and they want to go with you. And then it becomes enjoyable to do business with them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Um, okay. In conclusion here, because we're getting up to time, would love to hear from your perspective, the next what's the next 3 months for Sabina look like in terms of your personal production and your team growth? Kind of cast that vision for us a little bit here, and then just kind of any main parting closing thoughts, something that you're feeling super passionate about or want to say to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have it on my wall. I'm if this was my laptop, or my phone, I'd flip it over. But I have it on my wall, just like the AO numbers. Our team needs to submit 50K, and we need to issue 30. I know that in production, I'm gonna have to carry a big leg of that. So I have 30 on the wall, and I need to issue minimum 20, to really help our team go through and push through with that. So that's kind of what the next 3 months are gonna look like. It's just heavy production, heavy focus on getting agents activated and getting them writing business on leads or on family and friends, depending what kind of they want to start off with. And then it's just, I have a spider web of people. So I look at them every day and then I add to them all the time. So it's looking at them and saying, like, how can I help them get what they want? So it's, hey, they need to hit they need to hit a promo. They haven't hit one yet. They need to know what it feels like, or hey, they missed their last two promos. They need to get coaching on how to write the business that can get them that 90%, how to help their new agent. And I think it's right now just knowing that this is probably going to be the hardest it's going to feel at this moment because we're getting to a new level. We're entering into a new kind of like agency owner kind of is getting a little bit deeper in the game. And up to
Mm,
this point, it's kind of like I feel like practice to get into the game because I feel like that's when it really starts. Because that's where you get true ownership. Like the team leader, key leader titles, they're cool because they kind of have come along with it. But that's not the landing place for where I feel like we need to go. So we're just kind of entering into a new kind of realm. So I know that that's going to come with work and it's going to come with being off balance. And it's accepting that life is going to feel more stressful right now. Life is going to feel more crazy. And that was a commitment me and Christian had to make. Hey, I need you to understand that there's sacrifices we're making to get to where we want to go. But even with him, he's licensed. So he's about to start setting some appointments for me. I was like, you're going to play a part in the team. Like, you're going to need to start doing something too. So I gave him a list of leads. So he's going to have to call and set some appointments on my
wow,
calendar starting
that's
kind of
fun.
this month. But closing thoughts for everybody, I think would just be, one, you need to hone in on what you want from this business. And two, it's don't ask people necessarily about kind of like okay, what leads do you work? What script do you use? It's, hey, how did you train yourself to think to get there? What is the work that you were willing to put in to get to what you want? Most people want the outcome everybody has, but they're not willing to pay the price. And the price doesn't look the same for every single person, but every single person has paid a price to get to where they want to go, to get to being good at the phones. It's not just because I don't think I'm good on the phones just because I'm good on the phones. I'm good on the phones because I got beat up for 4,000 dials. And then since then, I've still made a ton of dials. So I bet you if you did 4,000 dials, you'd feel a lot better on the phones than before you did 4,000. And I just think, hey, what is the price you're willing to pay for what you want? And if you want that, and other people are saying, hey, and everybody's price looks different. It may be you need to not watch Netflix. It may be you need to wake up earlier. It may be you need to tell whoever you're around, hey, I need 3 months to recommit to my business. I need 3 months to do this, or hey, I need to go buy a brick and brick my phone because I'm scrolling social media or I'm on Netflix. Or you need to kind of make up a game with yourself, like a reward. If you're like, hey, if I get $200, I can do this. Whatever it is for you, you need to find what the price is that you're willing to pay for what you want and go and pay it because nobody else can do that work
Mm.
for you. I can want it for you and I want each of y'all to win. I want my whole team to win, but at the end of the day, I can't do the work for them, but I can show them, hey, this is what could be your future. But the only person who can decide if you want to pay the price is you. So that's all I would leave with is, are you willing to pay the price for what you want?
That is a mic drop. Yeah, there we go. Me and Kristen, same page. That is a mic drop moment, Sabina. And looks like you're very much, just one of those overnight successes that's been probably many months and many years in the making, and just putting in all that work. So thank you for pouring into this team, Sabina. I really enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm sure everyone else here did as well. I think a lot of what you said resonates with folks here, and I personally cannot wait to see what fun little title you have when I get to see you give you a hug and a high five in Denver in September.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me. This was so fun. I
Of
have a few
course.
minutes if anybody has any questions. I don't know if you'll end right on time. So if so, you can. But
I will throw it into the gallery if anyone wants to chat. I actually do need to jump to another thing here, but this has been really, really good, Sabina. I appreciate you.
sweet.
Awesome
Thanks,
stuff,
everybody.
guys. Sabina, thank you. Jeff, great hosting. Appreciate both of you. And I think we'll wrap for now, but Sabina, appreciate you. This has been fun getting
Thank
to know
you.
you and hear your journey. So thanks for sharing with us. We're cheering you on all the way to your next promotion and beyond.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. This was so fun.
So good,
Well,
Sabina. I feel like you've been here for 2
thanks.
seconds. I'm so inspired by you, girl. It's so
Thank you.
cool.
I know.
Yeah.
It feels so fast.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, it's been 8 months now. Like, no way. It feels like I just got here like a minute ago.
Yeah. The symmetry time flies. That's for sure.
That's true.
Life and
Absolutely.
symmetry is so weird. Time flies.
Definitely. Well, I had a great time being on y'all's call. I'm gonna let y'all go. Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
week, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.